My personal estimate will be in 2-3 years, you will quickly see that there will be significant percentage of the digital medical care products offered within e-bot system. And once you have a precedence, you can argue that, hey, this is similar product. And it's easier for the administration to approve a similar product to also be covered by e-bot. This is a very clear transform after COVID-19. We all know that digital health has been popular in China for the past 5-6 years, and there's a lot of startups focusing on this space. But honestly speaking, since this January, we have more, first of all, more demand from the patient because they're concerned about the hospital safety. They're also concerned about the more complicated process for them to get into the hospital. You probably also noticed that NASDAQ has a kind of a booming trend in this healthcare biotech space after this pandemic. So is here in China, and the average ticket size for investment in startups in healthcare, in digital healthcare, was about 10 million RMB. That's about $1.5 million US, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago. But suddenly, after January, March this year, the average ticket size that companies on the market raising was about 30-40 million. So it's basically 2.5 times or even 3 times of what they raised before. So what's the benefit of that? The benefit of that is that we have sufficient capital prepared for this business. And one of the key concerns from the hospital was, whether these companies who provide me digital solutions, how long will they survive as a startup, right? And suddenly with sufficient capital, that eased the hospital's concern, that eased their worry on the existence, on the survival of the solution providers. So what happened in the medical world currently is that, we spend $1 and the user becomes so happy and they feel the service are convenient, they feel this is better than before, and they will never leave the platform. So that's how we maintain the traffic. I do believe it's not a bubble this time, because the bubble is essentially caused by 2 things. One is that your traffic, you use dollar to boost your traffic, and eventually when you stop spending and the traffic is no longer there, your user is disappearing. Secondly, it's because when you stop spending and then your revenue is no longer there. We clearly see much higher user retention rate after this pandemic. We see that people will say, hey, if I can shy away from hospital, I will do it online. So that's very nice retention rate, and you don't need to spend dollar to convince them to go to your platform. They'll just naturally flow to this direction.